Oh, what is the upskis, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the GxGamerCast. We're on episode 187 of my little gaming show where once a week I just have to talk about video games. Whether they're new video games that I'm playing today, old video games that I grew up with, it doesn't matter. Video games. And today, we are taking a look at one of the coup de grace, the coup de gracies, one of the best in the genre of the Soulsborne, whatever the heck you want to call them, hard-ass games. This is one of the best, and this is the one that got me into, this is the one, I can't say it's the one that got me into it, but it's the one that locked me into it. Do you know what I'm saying? I have been on the Souls train since Demon Souls originally released in 2008, 2009. I got that game. I didn't beat it. By no means did I beat that game the first time. I played it back in the day. I have now since platinum Demon Souls, thank you very much. But Bloodborne was the first one that I beat. It's the first one that I really made me fall in love with the mechanics of the Soulsborne games. And man, I have not replayed this game since I originally played it over 10 years ago. I can't believe it, but this game is over 10 years old. Last year, I believe, was its 10-year anniversary, and its anniversary, I believe, of release is coming out, is up soon. We'll talk about it. But, man, dude, I had the itch to play a Souls game. I needed to play one, and it was between one or the other. I picked Bloodborne. I wanted to go with one I was more familiar with, one that I didn't really need a guide for, so I just wanted to go in there and just soak it up. So we are finally doing the Bloodborne episode. I'm going to be answering the question, does Bloodborne have the best boss fights in the FromSoft library? So I'm going to be answering that question, and also answering, is Bloodborne the best FromSoft game, period? Is this the best game that they have out there? I think it's a little unfair to, compare these games to newer games that are coming out, newer technology, just, so on and so forth. I feel like it's a little unfair, but regardless, I'm going to do it anyway. And we're going to talk about all the bosses. I'm going to talk about the game. I'm going to review the game while I'm here because I just played it. And, we're going to do all that. But before we do all that, let me discuss what I've been up to over the last week or so, as I always encourage you, the viewer, the listener. Let me know what y'all have been up to, what movies have you seen lately, and what video games are you diving into right now. It is spring now officially, so what kind of spring games are out there that you feel like you would like to play this spring? Let me know. I feel like the one that pops out to me this spring is I really want to play Okami again. I haven't played Okami in a very long time, and that is a treasured game in my heart. I actually never finished it. It did a thing that I didn't like, and I'm gonna revisit this game, and I'm gonna do my due diligence and hopefully finish it this time around. And then when I do that episode, I'll explain why I didn't finish it, and that would be a fun time. So definitely looking forward to playing Okami this spring. Wanted to do it in fall, but spring is also a good season, I feel like, to play Okami. And hit me with your seasonal favorite games for spring. And is there anything going on for like April or March, April for movies? Like, I don't know. But I did watch a movie. Yes, I did. And it is the one that got recommended to me by the homie Luke. I finally watched Together. Watched that sumbitch last night, and it was strange. Very strange indeed. Oh yeah, that was a strange movie. Very liked it, though. Very much so liked it. I enjoyed the movie. Is it going to be one of my favorite movies of the year? Maybe. It might be. I don't know. It's still early in the year. I haven't watched that many movies yet this year, but I would say it's in there as an early contender. It was enjoyable. It was all over the map, very all over the map movie. Had a little bit of everything going on in there. Little strange romance, a little horror, a little just weird, just straight up weird. There was some weird shit going on. The ending was something that was definitely, yeah, that was interesting. There was some pretty decent jump scares, like some what would you call unsettling scenes in here, and also the acting from, damn, what's his name? It's not James Franco, but the other Franco brother and Alison Brie, fantastic in this movie. Really enjoyed the pair of them in this movie. There was a scene where they get stuck together. There's actually a couple of scenes where they get a little stuck together, hence the name of the movie, Together. But man, there's, if you've watched the movie, you might know what you probably know what scene I'm talking about. They get stuck in the bathroom. That scene, whoa. that got pretty intense right there. I was like, holy shit. I was sweating a little bit and just like, can only imagine what horror she was thinking about. What a scene. What a scene. That was probably my favorite scene in the movie. But a good movie right there. Really good movie. I would hit that with a 7.5 out of 10. I think some of the effects were really good as well. But, and it actually flowed really well. It was good pacing to this movie. Just kind of scene to scene. Now, I wasn't like at the edge of my seat. I wasn't gripped by every scene in this movie. That's it is what it is. But I enjoyed this movie. 7.5 out of 10. It was on Amazon Prime. That's where I watched it. So yeah, I would recommend this movie if you're into something definitely a little off the radar, a little strange, but enjoyable strange. It wasn't like Saltburn, where Saltburn was unenjoyable strange. It was just strange being strange. Like, I don't know. I didn't vibe with that movie very much, but this one much more so. Very enjoyable characters. I thought both Alison Brie's character and Dave Franco, maybe? I'll go with that one. And his character was less, there were some aspects of his character that weren't likable, but that he played those aspects well. It was a very enjoyable movie. I liked it. So, well, good recommendation right there from Luke, and hit me with more recommendations. Definitely something you nailed the theming for me. Yes, you're right. That was a very me movie. Definitely off the cuff, strange, a little bit of everything. I like those kind of movies, man. So yeah, you nailed that recommendation, Luke. I really enjoyed that movie. So well done. All right, let's talk video games. So I played a ton of Bloodborne, obviously. I did not expect to get through this game as fast as I did. I didn't expect to be talking about it this episode, but here we are, fresh off of a Bloodborne playthrough, and it was absolutely delightful. So I played a ton of Bloodborne, so I got that, but the itch was still there, and I had to, and I was going to download the Old Hunters DLC, but I'm a cheap bastard. It wasn't on sale. It was just on sale, and I kicked myself for not buying it then because I knew I was going to play Bloodborne, but I was like, I probably won't play it. I won't feel like it, and no, I 100% wanted to play it and do want to play it, so next time it's on sale, probably going to pick it up and do that as well, and that could be an episode in that of itself, I feel like, for Bloodborne, so maybe we can do that in like a Bloodborne 2 wish list or something, so I don't know, we'll throw something together if I do get the Old Hunters DLC, but the itch still needed to be scratched, so I started Dark Souls 2, and let me tell you, holy macaroni, I'm struggling, y'all. I said the same thing last week about Bloodborne when I started it, but this is a little bit different. This is a different game I am not familiar with. This is completely unfamiliar territory for me, so I'm trying to do it blind. I'm doing the best that I can to do things blind, but I'm definitely I have been looking things up because I just needed some help with this game. I'm getting my ass handed to me by everything and anything, except for the bosses, oddly. I'm doing fine with the bosses, but just level to level has been kicking my ass. Holy jumping, I am blown away, but right now I have gotten to the wharf, like the fishing wharf, not the one in Bloodborne, but the one in Dark Souls 2. Really reminds me of Blighttown. It feels exactly the same way. It's like multi-level wooden structures. There's fucking enemies everywhere. I'm getting shot by arrows from all sorts of directions. Terrifying enemies. I'm scared. And yeah, so yeah, I definitely got the feeling of Blighttown in that area, and I'm not liking it. So I'm on the boat or some shit now. That's where I'm at. Not very far. And I spent hours in, what's that place called? The Forest of the Giants or whatever. Spent hours in there just running my head against the wall, getting absolutely nowhere. And I wanted to quit. But I was like, you know what? No, I'm not going to let Dark Souls, and I will admit, the game is funky. It is absolute. I see exactly what people are talking about immediately playing this game, coming off of Bloodborne especially. Very noticeably different in game style and feel, and these new mechanics. I can't wait to talk about it. I'm definitely going to do a Dark Souls 2 episode. Whether I finish this game or not, I still need to talk about it because it's worthy of a talk, and I want to get through the game, or at least as much as I freaking can. I am playing the Scholars of the First Sin edition or whatever the fuck it's called, which has all the DLC, so I'm hoping to take all of it down as well, because I heard the DLC is like the best part of Dark Souls 2, and so I'm definitely compelled to try and give it a shot for sure. And so playing Dark Souls 2 for the first time, and so far I am enjoying it. I am having a good time. It feels exactly the same way that it felt when I was playing Demon Souls back in the day. Like, I'm frustrated, I'm getting killed, but I keep coming back for more. I just can't help myself. I'm addicted to these games, and I really have an itch for it right now, and I'm enjoying Dark Souls 2. There are definitely some things wrong with it. Definitely some things wrong with it, but I guess that's part of the charm. And we'll discuss that one day in a future episode. And I'm also playing, finished off Gears of War 2 with the homie Jesse, and we kicked off Gears of War 3 because why not? We didn't really plan ahead for the next game, so I didn't really have anything downloaded. I could download Gears in a short amount of time, so we just started playing Gears 3. And I think I'm going to do a combo episode of Gears 2 and 3, see how that goes, because when we finish Gears 2, there's meat on that bone, but we tried out Horde mode, and there wasn't actually any meat there, so I was a little bit like, oh, okay, so yeah, I'll probably end up doing Gears of War 2 and 3 together. We'll just talk about those games as a trilogy, and see where Gears of War, the franchise, goes on from there, because there's many more games, and another one coming out very soon, hopefully coming out soonish, E-Day. So we have that, Gears of War 2 and 3. So 2 is done. Loved it. I can't wait to talk about it. And Pokemon Leaf Green. Oh, yeah. Took down the Elite Four, baby. Elite Four is Dunyan Rings. I am the champion. I am the greatest of all time. Just bow down to me, nah. And it's been, I can't wait to talk about this game, too. I can't believe how much fun I've been having with it. Comparatively so, I was playing Pokemon Sun like a few months ago, and I was like immediately burnt out on that game, and it just wasn't grabbing me, and it was strange because every Pokemon game I've ever played, I've never had that issue. I've always been just like, give me more, I need more Pokemon. But yeah, Pokemon Sun, for some reason, I could not finish that game. It just wasn't it. But started playing Leaf Green, can't get enough of it. I'm in post game now. I'm doing post game stuff. Caught me a ho-ho. Like, what? I did not know I could do that in this game, so that's something I can't wait to talk about in the Pokemon Leaf Green episode. It's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, that's everything that I've been playing. I haven't picked up anything, didn't buy anything yet, so I'm just kind of saving my money, hopefully, for my Switch 2, and that would be key. So there we go, everybody. That's everything I've been up to. Let me know what y'all have been up to, and here we go. Let's talk about Bloodborne. Is this the best Blood game in the FromSoft series, and does it have the best boss fights? Let's figure this out. Let's talk about Bloodborne. Oh, Bloodborne, one of my favorite games of all time, absolutely. Come on down. It is almost your friggin' birthday. It's going to be very close to your birthday the day this episode comes out. This game originally released March 24th, 2015. This game is over 10 years old. It's coming up to its 11th birthday. And yeah, it still holds up as one of the best FromSoft games of all time. And I said one of. I did say one of. I don't think, in my humble opinion, Bloodborne is no longer my favorite FromSoft game in their full library that I've almost fully played. I haven't played Dark Souls 2 yet all the way, so I'm in there now, but I can already safely say that it's not going to be my favorite FromSoft game of all time. I can already kind of judge that from early playthroughs, but I do not think it's a bad game. I do not think it's a bad game, but Bloodborne, not a bad game whatsoever. But right now, I think it's Elden Ring for me, and that's kind of unfair. But because it's such a different game, it's so much bigger, and there's just so much more going for it than what a completely different style of game from the Dark Souls, Bloodborne. It's so much bigger in scale. It's kind of hard for me not to put it as the best because it has an incredible amount of boss fights. So many of them are so iconic and memorable and just amazing. And the amount of exploration is just insane. And it's just such a me game. So for me personally, it's Elden Ring. And not gonna lie, Bloodborne isn't even number 2. It's Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 3, I think, honestly, might have the best boss fights from, like, consistency-wise. It might have the best boss fights, because there's only one, maybe two that I didn't love, and the rest of them were just like great and amazing and some of the best boss fights in the whole entire franchise. So that's where I'm at there. But I'm still gonna go through all the bosses in this game. I ranked them all, talked about it. We're going to talk about all the ones that I played through. I might have missed a boss or two. I didn't do the Chalice dungeons. I didn't do none of that stuff. I just want to do an OG playthrough of Bloodborne, not 100%. I'm not doing everything. I've already done that kind of thing. I did the good ending. I got the freaking vertebrae and all that shit. I did all that. And I just wanted to play the freaking game again and see if it holds up still over 10 years later. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to do it the old-fashioned way. We're going to start with our intro. You're starting off this game with a blood transfusion and, of course, creating your character. And I just got to shout out, the creating a character in Bloodborne is fantastic. I just love the monstrosities that you can make. And the monstrosity that I made, this horrifyingly just no chin neck woman, she was horrifying to look at. I should have taken some more snaps and probably put up some stuff online. That's one of my resolutions for this year, was to do that, and I have not been doing that. What else is new? But anyway, start off with the creating of the character. I think it's an amazing create a character tool. You can create some just bananas looking people, you can create some gorgeous looking people, but I side on the side of just making these horrendous looking things that make me giggle every time I look at them. And some people are super anti that. I was actually talking to the homie Matt, and he was like, I just cannot do that. I was just talking to him today, and he's like, I can't do that with my characters, and I have to make them look normal, or it just kind of it takes me out of the experience. I'm like, I completely understand that. I used to have that same mentality when I was growing up. Now I just don't care. I just want to role play, just be this monstrosity badass character, and like, I don't care if I'm ugly, I fuck shit up, and that's exactly what we're doing. So that's what I made in Bloodborne, made this absolutely horrifying thing. And then you awaken on the night of the hunt with no freaking weapons, and it starts you off by trying to fight this werewolf that's admittedly already half dead. It's kind of a pathetic creature. Definitely not of the scale of other, like, first enemies you walk into sometimes, compared to, like, you know, Dark Souls 1, when you fight the ginormous assed thing, the ginormous booty. You got to try and take that monstrosity down, and it's really hard. And that's kind of they did the same thing in Demon Souls. They're like, yo, take down this big enemy, and you're like, what? Like, how the fuck am I supposed to do that? In Bloodborne, all they ask you is to simply fight a werewolf with your bare hands. I mean, not a big deal, but you do that, you make it through, or you don't. You wake up in the Hunter's Dream, and the Hunter's Dream may be the hub world. For me right now, it's still my personal favorite, but playing Dark Souls 2, we got Majula over there looking fan-frickin-tastic. So don't know if I can completely answer this one right now, but I will just shout out the Hunter's Dream as being one of the most gorgeous hub worlds in the whole entire franchise from FromSoft. I really do personally like Demon Souls. I really like that area. It's huge. It's ginormous castle. I think that hub world is really nice. It's kind of simple. It's kind of simplistic. Dark Souls 2, very easy to kind of get lost in there. Dark Souls 1 and 2, honestly, easy to get a little lost, but theirs are iconic, and I enjoy those hub worlds as well. But talking about Bloodborne, the flowers, the beautiful kind of like dollhouse freaking looking thing, the doll, of course, being here, just very cozy. Lots of flowers around. You are kind of in a cemetery. It's kind of, you know, unsettling as cemeteries get, but very nice hub world indeed. And talking about very nice, this game still looks very nice. It's a very nice looking game. Arguably, it's people's favorite theme setting for a FromSoft game, and I can completely see why. I loved it the first time I was in Yharnam, and Yharnam is this gorgeous, gothic, just, what would you call it? Vampiric, I guess that's kind of gothic, but yeah, just gothic architecture to the maximum. Like, we're talking old school Transylvania, Castlevania style things, but in a modern video game, and it looks incredible, man. Absolutely incredible. Stunning backdrops consistently in this game. You just find myself getting stopped, looking around, looking at the sky, and some of the sky backdrops in this game, man, the purples and the orange moon back there, just damn. But I must say, my personal favorite is there's an iconic spot before you fight Rom, the spider dude, and it's the big bright moon, like big pizza pie in the sky. Is that what they call it? Yeah, that. And over the big lake, and it's just fucking gorgeous, man. Absolutely gorgeous. Really wish they would re-release this game. You know, it's really too bad that Blue Point is now shut down, and reports coming out that they pitched a Bloodborne remaster remake, and it got turned down. And just imagine now, Blue Point, if they released a Bloodborne remake at this point, they probably wouldn't be shut down right now. They would probably have the green light to do anything and everything because it sold 5 million in its first 2 weeks because it's a Bloodborne remaster. One of the most asked for games out there, remaster-wise, is Bloodborne. Like, everybody wants Bloodborne, 60 frames per second, 4K. Who doesn't want to see this game in its gorgeousness? And I will admit, you know, I have been not really impressed with my... what would you call it? What are the monitor? I haven't been impressed with my monitor. It doesn't really have crisp backgrounds. Like the foreground looks nice and good, but the backgrounds look pretty blurry, and I'm not giving that to Bloodborne at all. I know this game doesn't look like that naturally. It's my monitor. So I've been eyeing up some new things, you know, trying to find something that works, but I've already bought so many freaking TVs and monitors, and none of them seem to do what I want them to do. So I'm probably just going to bite the bullet and rather just deal with it, or bite the bullet and buy like the proper expensive TV and like go all in and do this thing. But regardless, that's a conversation for a different day. If anyone has any good TV recommendations for gaming, let me know, or monitors that are 4K and all that stuff. But this game is gorgeous. It's still gorgeous. I love the backdrops. I love the architecture, the gothic, all this stuff. It looks so freaking good. And I think, yeah, it's probably... It's a tough call. You know, Dark Souls 3 had some... I love Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 3 blew me away. I was not really... I don't know what I was expecting out of Dark Souls 3, but whatever I was expecting, it knocked my fucking socks off. That game absolutely amazed me, from boss fights to graphics to feel to just design. Everything blew me away. That's like... That might be the 10 out of 10 in the Dark Souls games for me out of the 3. That's for me, for my money, that's my favorite one out of the ones that I played so far. And like I said, I'm not all the way through Dark Souls 2 yet, but man, Bloodborne. What a theme, what a look. I love the wet kind of, kind of like a London wet style brick, and just, oh man, what a great game. And the blood effects look fantastic. Obviously Bloodborne, we're gonna have a lot of blood in this game. There's a lot of blood. You whack an enemy, you get just caked in blood. Your outfit gets just soaked in blood from head to toe. It is an awesome looking effect. Blood splattering on the ground, on the walls. It is awesome. And I also really like the enemy design in this game. It may not be the all-time best out of all the games, but I think some of the creatures in Bloodborne are absolutely fantastic, looking awesome. The regular villager dudes or whatever, but some of the bosses, man, we'll talk about them, but like some of those things look absolutely horrifying, and some of the enemies look really freaking badass. So yeah, I got to shout out the enemy design. We'll move to the sound design of this game. Absolutely fucking phenomenal soundtrack. The choirs, the violins, just get the hell out of here. So freaking amazing. It's a masterpiece. It's a masterpiece of a soundtrack. It is so epic. It is so... just so freaking amazing. Now, no, it is not something I'm going to sit there and turn on in the shower and I'm humming along to the Bloodborne soundtrack every day in the shower, but it is one of the greatest soundtracks ever put to a Souls video game for sure. It is the standard. It is like, it is bad to the freaking ass. And the sound design is amazing. The weapons sound so freaking good. And it's very noticeable going from Bloodborne to Dark Souls 2 how much better it is in Bloodborne, and how everything just feels heavy. When you whack an enemy, you just hear the blood like skittering across the ground, and it's just like, oh my goodness, man. The sound design is phenomenal. The way the creatures sound, you can hear them like literally in the first level, you hear the cleric beast screaming in the background, and it just chills you to the bone. You're like, what the fuck was that sound? And you're like, that is something I'm going to be fighting in a few minutes. And it is absolutely terrifying. So, man, the sound design is absolutely phenomenal in Bloodborne. The music is absolutely phenomenal. Love it. Absolutely. It's already been said a million times. I think we all know that Bloodborne has just amazing sound design. It's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Now we get to the gameplay. So what makes this one different from Dark Souls and your typical Souls game is, well, it's a lot faster. Much faster pace, like from the combat to healing yourself to everything is faster in this game. You're meant to go faster. You're meant to fight more offensively, more aggressively, and if you're coming off of a Dark Souls game, it might take you a little while. And me, I think the last one I played was a Dark Souls game, or shit, what was the last? I might have played Dark Souls 3, might have been the last Souls game that I played. Maybe it was Elden Ring. I'm not sure. I can't remember anymore, but it's been a minute, and I haven't played Bloodborne in a long time. Maybe closer to 10 years. It's been a minute. And it takes a little, like, it takes, you can't do the things that you're used to. You can't block in Bloodborne. There's no blocking, which is insane, right? Like, how am I supposed to beat a game this hard and I can't even block? Like, no, you're really focused on dodging. Your iframes are much more respectable. Like, they're not as crazy. That's a conversation for Dark Souls 2. We can talk about iframes more in that game, but you're meant to roll through attacks. You're meant to dodge backwards. You're meant to dodge side to side. You have a full range of movement, full 360 range. And yeah, dude, you get equipped with a sword and a gun at the beginning of the game. You have your choice. You have 3 weapons to choose from, kind of like Pokemon. You could choose the threaded cane, which I've admittedly never used. I was very curious, wanted to use it, but I went with my old trusty cleaver. Love the cleaver. It just feels so good. It's the iconic weapon. It's on the cover. It looks so bad. It's such a badass weapon. It feels super awesome. And noticeably didn't find a lot of weapons in this game. I found 3 weapons in this game. Definitely, that is a huge difference from Dark Souls and Bloodborne. I've already found probably 4 times as many weapons in Dark Souls 2 in the first 4 hours than I did in the entirety of Bloodborne. So you're really kind of limited down to how many weapons you use and what kind of play style you're going for in Bloodborne. It kind of gives you that off the bat. Like, the cleaver is more of a dexterity build, the threaded cane is more of an arcane build, and then your axe is more of a strength build, I would imagine. So I never used any of the other 2. I've only used the cleaver. I've only played Bloodborne 2 times, this being my second. And yeah, so I didn't find a lot of weapons. I've seen other weapons used, and I've used the Tonoris, the little kind of mace-looking thing. I find that thing all the time. But it's not as satisfying to use. So that's another big difference, is you just don't have a lot of different weaponry, and like building up your character kind of goes the same way every time. Like, it's rather, do you want to focus in on strength, which you generally do anyway? Do you want to focus in on dex, which you're generally doing anyway? It's basically whether you want to do a magic build or do you want to do a run and gun kind of build. And I think the way that the game wants you to play is run and gun. I've never really used much I've never been an arcane magic user in my Dark Souls games or in my Souls games. Never really done the magic route. I did it for when I first played Demon Souls. I like restarted the game over again as a magic person because I heard that was like an easier way to get through it, and it was. I got further in the game, but eventually I hit a wall and I couldn't get any further in that game as a magic build. So kind of been mostly strength build. I've gone majority strength build in a lot of my FromSoft games, but lately have been moving over to dex since Elden Ring. Kind of discovered katanas, how awesome katanas are, and I really enjoy a good katana. So now I've been going dex, but that's your playstyle. It just seems like you just don't have as many options in Bloodborne as you do in a Dark Souls game, so that's not necessarily a negative. It's more of a focused experience, Bloodborne. But regardless, you get that kind of stuff. What else do you have? So like I said, no shield, faster paced gameplay, and probably the greatest mechanic that Bloodborne introduces, and I want it to be in all of the games, is they call it the rally system. It's called the rally system, and basically whenever you get hit, your life bar goes down. Very simple. But you can actually, it goes down in a way that, like, it's not all the way down yet. You're like, oh snap, I can recoup some of my health by hitting the enemy back. So it encourages you to fight more aggressively. It encourages that kind of gameplay. So if you didn't like Dark Souls, you didn't like kind of how slow-paced it was, give Bloodborne a try, because that's the game that unlocked it for me, was Bloodborne, because it just encourages more fast-paced gameplay, and it rewards you for it as well. So that's a huge bonus, and this is my favorite mechanic in Bloodborne, is the rally system. I want it. It's been a huge struggle jumping from Bloodborne to Dark Souls 2. Whenever I get hit, I just immediately go in for the kill, and that is not what you want to do in Dark Souls. You want to hang back, you want to be more defensive and hide behind your shield, and that is just not the way you play Bloodborne. So they're two very different experiences, very to the kin of Sekiro compared to a Dark Souls, like very, very different experiences, and the same thing, Sekiro compared to Bloodborne, very different. Sekiro's way more focused on parries and just straight up sword play, and there is no like true leveling up in that game. You don't like get stronger. You're kind of just, you just are what you are, and I think your sword gets stronger, but that's it. In Bloodborne, you can increase your, same thing, you can upgrade your weapons, same style as Dark Souls, upgrade your shit, and that's fine. So not much different there, but it feels completely different from a Dark Souls game, and that is awesome. What is the same is you're collecting what we call, in Souls games, you're generally collecting souls, but in Bloodborne, you're collecting blood vials, or blood echoes, excuse me. Blood vials is what revives your health, but you're collecting blood echoes in this game, and the same system applies to this game as well. If you get killed, you have a chance to recollect your blood echoes, but sometimes when you get killed by a specific enemy, that specific enemy will be holding your soul, so it'll have like blue eyes, and you're like, oh shit, I gotta kill that specific enemy to get my shit back. So that's a really cool mechanic as well. I believe they have that I believe that was in Demon Souls as well, if I do remember correctly. Not 100% on that one, but it's definitely a cool mechanic. It doesn't happen every single time. Sometimes your echoes are just sitting there on the floor. If you just happen to roll off the edge, they'll just be there. They won't just go to the nearest enemy or something every single time. So you don't have to have, but sometimes it's an epic battle, right? You're like, oh shit, it went into this like ginormous pig, and I have trouble with that ginormous pig. So now it's like, oh, kind of a boss fight now. So that's a really cool mechanic. I really enjoyed that, and I enjoy that. I enjoy that Souls mechanic. It's a staple of a Souls game, is that you have the potential to lose everything. So if you happen to go back to that enemy and it kills you again, you lose all your echoes. They're all gone, and that's what you use to level up in this game, and you need to level up. It is crucially important to level up in this game. You want to level up your HP bar, your stamina bar. There's also the stamina in this game as well. That does apply. That works the exact same way as it does in Dark Souls games. You have a stamina meter. You can only swing your sword and dodge roll as many times as your stamina bar will allow you. So you got to level that one up as well, along with your strength, your dexterity, so you can actually do damage with your weapons. Or if you want to do the arcane thing, you can do the arcane thing. And there's no special weird stats like in Dark Souls 2 that we have to worry about that actually have way more importance than it leads us off to believe. So nothing like that in Bloodborne. There's blood tinge. I don't know what the fuck that does. Can't really tell you. I forget. I think it gives you more power when you use blood to power your bullets, maybe. I don't know. Regardless, I never used it. It's not something I use. So not the way I built my character. And the level design is extremely impressive in this game. Very similar to Dark Souls, how like things connect. Levels will connect with a secret path or a shortcut, something like that. So every level you go to, and they work kind of similar to Demon Souls and Dark Souls, where you kind of just go to a gravestone and you select a lantern to go to, and you just kind of work your way through the gravestones and work your way through the game, collecting and battling bosses along the way. But every level will have a shortcut, so eventually you're just kind of working your way through each level, killing enemies, collecting souls, trying to find that shortcut, so then you can go back, level up, go fight the boss, and Bob's your uncle. That's generally how these things go. And speaking of bosses, I think it is time to talk about the boss. Actually, one more thing. My one gripe with Bloodborne that was really annoying playing through it again, it was the blood vials. So blood vials revive your health. And you get a lot of them. I had up to 24 blood vials. So I upgraded it. I had a perk that allows me to carry 4 more. So I had 4 more than regular. So 24 blood vials. And you use a lot of blood vials in this game if you suck like I do. And the game just does not provide you with enough blood vials throughout the entirety of the game. At the early stages of the game, sure, they give you plenty. And that is the only place that you can find them, because you find so few of them throughout the rest of the game outside of the beginning area that I had to constantly go back to the beginning area. I imagine people that play Bloodborne know exactly the route I'm talking about. Go to the Great Bridge, go kill the fucking troll, go kill the werewolves, go kill the other 2 trolls, go down, kill the pig, go back up, go kill the troll, rinse and repeat. You get like 20 blood vials each run, but it really kills the pacing of the game, especially if you are struggling on a boss fight. And you are, like, for me personally, I had this problem with the final boss in this game, and I just wanted to do another. I just need to get back in there, but fuck, I have no blood vials. And yes, you can purchase them, but that's stupid. Why would you waste your souls on them when you can just go out and get them at this place? Like, I feel like that's just a waste of echoes, to just buy blood vials with them. I bought a few, but I wasn't going out there and buying them all the time, which maybe you can argue I should have been doing that throughout the entirety of the game. Like, whenever I have a few extra souls here, or echoes here and there, buy up some vials. But nah, I didn't want to do that. I kept going back to the Great Bridge, running that route again and again and again. So, like I said, that killed the pacing for me a little bit, where I wish it would just kind of reward me for killing enemies and giving me more blood vials instead of giving me kind of, fucking pebbles and numerous bullets. I was getting way too many bullets and not enough blood vials. So if anything, I wish they would tweak it a little bit if they ever did a remaster, remake of this game, which please do it. Put in a few more blood vials, please, because, man, just doing that route over and over again was really monotonous and really just killed the vibe of the game a little bit. So I had to mention that, so that was really annoying. Now it's time for bosses. Let's talk about the bosses. We're going to go through all the bosses and some moments. We're going to talk about some moments as well here. I'll just shout, I had the same problem with Bloodborne as I am having with Dark Souls 2, and actually the homie Matt, he literally just started playing Bloodborne today as we were talking, and I heard him struggling. The first 2 hours of a Souls game is a struggle. It's meant to be a struggle. It's meant to be hard. It's meant to scare you off a little bit. It's meant to kind of dangle the carrot in front of you a little bit, like, here's these fun mechanics, but it's really hard, but you want to keep going, you want to get a little further, don't you? And it's very good at dangling that carrot at you and making you want to keep going, for some people at least. Some people just, nope, shut it off, don't want that fucking shit. It's not for everybody, and if someone says they don't like Souls games, I don't give them crap for it, because I completely understand it's not for everybody, but they're for me, and I love them. I can't get enough. I want more and more and more, and it's awesome. So that's good. And there's thankfully they're making a lot. There's been some really good, not FromSoft Souls games coming out, like Lies of P. Lies of P is one of the best. It's up there. It's like, I feel like it's a top 5, might be in my top 5 Souls games of all time. So that's saying a lot, considering I haven't played a lot of outside of the FromSoft library. I've played a couple, but not very many. Anyway, back to Bloodborne. Let's do the bosses. So, back to the first 2 hours. My first 2 hours were miserable. It made me feel very unconfident. My first death was like the downfall of me. Like, every death just kind of knocked me down another peg, and once I started dying, I couldn't stop dying. But once you get through the first couple of boss fights in Bloodborne, you really get your feet under you, get some levels, you start leveling. Well, that's what I mean. You're leveling up, you're getting more powerful, and you're getting better defense, so not everything is kicking your ass, and you get better at the game. And I told him, I'm like, watch, man, in just a few hours, you're going to come back to this area, and you're going to make it your bitch. And that's exactly what it feels like in Bloodborne. Like, you struggle on this area for hours and hours, and, well, not hours and hours, it's not that bad, but you struggle on an area for multiple, like an hour or something like that, and you finally make through, and then you come back to it like an hour later, and you're like, I'm leveled up now, and you just fuck shit up. It feels so good. So that's a good time. That's a good time right there. All right. Boss fights in order from the ones that, in order of the ones that how I fought them. And I'm going to rank them on a let's go with an F to S rank, S being the highest rank of boss fight you can get, and we're going to go from the first one that I fought. So the first guy that I fought, because I took a wrong turn, I fought Father Gascoigne first, and all good with me because I absolutely adore this fight. Feels like a PvP fight, and it's very intense. Like, what I mean by PvP is, obviously it feels like you're fighting an actual human. Like, the AI on Gascoigne is fantastic. He's dodging like a real person. He's shooting you with his gun. He is attacking you smartly and strategically. Like, he's not just swinging his weapon. I mean, admittedly, some people do that online where they just swing crazy and go bananas, and it works. Sometimes it does, but this fight feels freaking intense. It is an awesome introductory fight. It could be a lot of our first boss fight in Blood. It's not supposed to be, but it sometimes can be someone's first fight, and it was for me. I love it. I love when he turns into a werewolf, so it gives you both feels, because there's kind of two tiers, kind of two sides of Bloodborne's boss fights. You got Beast and you got Human. I prefer the Human style of boss fight because the Beast kind of all feel the same to me. Anyway, I beat them all the same. I get really close, I hug their ass, and I just whack and whack and whack away. The Human fights, that's kind of more RNG. Like, whoa, they have a bigger move set. They got way more human like, they just move more and think more like a human. They're not just... Beasts are aggressive. They are just going to be more aggressive. They're going to be a little more predictable to fight. The human enemies, not as predictable. So I just find them to be more enjoyable. And Gascoigne is a little mix of both. So I just love how this fight goes. Once you get, 2/3 of the way through his health bar, boom, he turns into a fucking werewolf. He's going crazy, and it's so fun. It is an absolutely awesome introductory fight for me. It got me, I was like, oh, fuck yeah. This got me right in the mood. That is an A-tier boss fight right there, and it took me 3 attempts. I tracked how many times it took me to fight each boss. Just, I don't know, I feel like it would be fun, and it also shows which ones, for me, I'll discuss which ones are the actual hardest bosses in this game and which ones were just a pain in the ass, because there is a difference between that and my attempt count, so we'll get there. All right. So the next boss that I fought was the Cleric Beast. This thing is a terrifying monster, straight out of my nightmares. And hearing that screech in the first level, when you hear that thing screeching, oh my goodness, it just sends shivers through my spines. But this boss is really cool. I love that you're walking on the bridge, everything's cool, and boom, this ginormous creature just jumps down in front of you and starts fighting you, and boom, you are in a fight for your life. And it's a good fight to start. It's a good beast fight. It's not the best. It's not the worst by any means. No, it's not. I don't even think it's a bad fight in any way. I think it's actually a really good fight. I give it a B, and I got this one in 1 attempt. I don't think the Cleric Beast is overly hard. It is the first fight in the game, technically. It should be anyway, at least from all the guides that I looked at. I just to make sure I was going the right way, and I found out quickly I went the wrong way in fighting Gascoigne, so that's why I needed to have a guide with me, and we'll talk about that. But... yeah, it's a cool looking boss. It's scary, it's badass looking, and I really enjoy it, giving it a B. Then we get to the Bloodstarved Beast, which was one of the hardest boss fights for me. You can go back and track down that episode. If you ever want to look up an episode, just look up GX Plus Cast and then put in whatever you're looking for. Just look up X game, X topic idea, and you'll find it there. Just as long as you put in GX Plus Cast, you will find any episode that you're looking for. So you can look up the hardest bosses list, and Bloodstarved Beast was on that list because this thing was an ass kicker. This is probably the first wall that a lot of people hit in Bloodborne, was the Bloodstarved Beast, because this thing is very aggressive, especially in its third phase, and it has a really nasty little mechanic on it that I think it's poisoning. I believe it's poisoning you, and it has these kind of elephant ears going on it. It's got these weird kind of tentacle things, and they're poisonous when they touch you, and it also adds extra range to its attacks. It's really nasty, and it gets way worse. The poisoning effect gets way more nasty in the later stage of the fight, and yeah, he's a nasty customer. He's fast, aggressive, and he's terrifying. He's this just nasty, gangly creature, very nasty. The only thing that is A problem with this fight is the camera can be a little awkward at times, can make the fight a little more difficult than it needs to be, because he's aggressive, and you're also in this kind of small arena with a lot of pillars in it, and the pillars can get in the way of the camera, so sometimes that can be a thing. But I really enjoy the Bloodstarved Beast. I enjoy it more than the Cleric Beast, but I would still give it a B just because of some of the camera problems, and the slow poison is just a pain in the ass. You're going to have your antidotes ready for this one. They get you ready for it. They're giving you antidotes on the way up there, which is a good level design thing that they do in these games, so that's good. And we move on to the next fight, and it's another beast fight, Vicar Amelia. Love the design on this one. Looks so awesome and horrifying again. The hair effects on this one are really cool. She's got these long strands of hair, and they go crazy, like in the good way, like not the unnatural way. Like I was noticing in Gears of War, this one guy had like dreadlocks, and his dreads were going fucking loco for I don't know what reasoning, but they were not doing what they were supposed to be doing. They were going crazy. And Vicar Amelia's hair is going crazy in the right ways, the way it's supposed to look. Doesn't look unnatural, doesn't look glitchy. And that was very impressive considering her size, how much she's moving around. And yeah, she's a terrifying customer. She's definitely nightmare fuel. But really hate the fact that she heals herself, so she loses points for that for me personally. And other than that, she's a pretty standard creature fight. Stay away from her front, just get to her her booty. Get to her booty, stay away from the fruity in the front, and you should be victorious. I was victorious in 2 attempts. We move on to okay, this is a string of bosses, so this is where I start to talk about why I don't think Bloodborne has the best boss fights, because from boss fight to boss fight, not all the best. So we move on to the Witches of Hemswick, which I actually forgot was in this game. I thought this was a Demon Souls boss fight for some reason, but this one isn't good. Just not a good fight. You're chasing around this invisible witch, or it might be 2 witches, at least one witch, and you're just avoiding these non-aggressive minions that she spawns out. They don't really come after you unless you go after them or get really too close. And other than that, you just kind of follow around the light, you smack her a bunch of times, and yeah, it's not a good fight. It's a D. 1 attempt on that one, thankfully. You can die to her. It is possible. Like, she can grab you. She can stab you with her little knife. Her minions can get you. They can gang up on you. They can have, like, up to 3, I think, at a time. But it's a slow fight. It's boring. It's not fun. It's not one I want to do again. It's not one I look forward to, and I forgot was in this game, so that sucked. Witches of Hemswick, not a good time. Dark Beast Parl is very intimidating. This guy is this huge electrified creature, and after his shock value went down, I got over him and was able to take him down, but he's this big, aggressive. He's kind of like the Bloodstarved Beast in the way of his aggressiveness. He's jumping around. He's probably twice the size of Bloodstarved Beast, but he's about as aggressive. So he was a little bit of a challenge for me. It took me 3 attempts, but again, he's another... feels the same as the Bloodstarved Beast. He doesn't really feel unique to the other bosses. He doesn't really stand out to the other bosses. Is he bad? No. Is he great? Not necessarily. So I hit him with a B. We move on to a controversial boss fight in the Shadows of Yharnam. So why this one is controversial? Because it's a 3-on-1 fight. Unless you summon in someone. I summoned in someone because I know it's a 3-on-1 fight. So I summoned in, you can just summon in an NPC. I think you might be able to summon a real person. I don't know. But I just summoned in an NPC. And with the NPC, it's actually a fun fight. I had fun with this one. It can be a fucking pain in the ass to do it by yourself. 1 versus 3. Not a good time. I don't like that. That's too many. They're not the most aggressive. Like, one of them is a ranged attack guy. One's a little aggressive, and the other one's like semi-aggressive. They all have their own little feel, their own different playstyle. One's got a candle, and he's shooting fire at you. One's got a flame sword. The other one's got like maybe a shield or something. I don't remember. But I actually enjoyed fighting them because my NPC kept one of them busy while I can just kind of focus on 2 and juggle them around. And yeah, it was a very doable fight. Got it done in 2 attempts. I like this one, B. And I know that's controversial. Some people absolutely fucking hate this fight. I understand where you're coming from, but if you're having trouble, summon in someone. So it makes it better. Now we got a good one. We get to a great fight in this game. We got Amygdala arguably the coolest looking boss in this game. These are the invisible creatures that start showing up in the late game. They start appearing on freaking walls and stuff. They are amazing looking creatures. They are just, again, nightmare fuel is really the only word I can find for these things. They are horrifying. They got like spikes coming out of their head. They're incredibly large with incredibly long legs and arms, and they're just, they're creepy. They shoot lasers out of their head. They're outer worldly creatures. They are something else, and you actually get to fight one, and it is a hell of an awesome fight. It is challenging hitting its big head. Like, you only get so much it only like dips its head down so often that you can hit it, and that's really the only place you can do damage to it. You can hit its legs and arms, but it's not really going to do any damage, so you got to hit the head. So it was kind of difficult, and I imagine it could be really difficult depending on what weapon you're using. You might have to like switch out weapons, but I didn't explain this, but your weapons also have like alternate fighting styles. So with my saw cleaver, for example, I can hit the whatever button and it turns into an extra long sword now. So now I got ranged and I have a close combat style weapon. So it's 2-in-1. It's really cool. Great mechanic. Every weapon has that, like 2 modes that you can use. I'm not familiar with all the modes because I've only really used the saw cleaver and the Totonaris thing, or whatever the hell it's called. So with the Totonaris, you can actually like charge it up with electricity and make it an electric style weapon. So that's really cool as well. So Amygdala, great fight, badass music. It has many arms and many lasers. It's an aggressive fight. Pretty challenging. Took me 4 attempts. I'm going to give this one an A-. I really enjoyed this fight. Then we get to a fight I never look forward to, and this is like one of the fights that I like that keeps me away from going back to Bloodborne. That is Rom, the vacuous spider, and those stupid little spider fucks that he spawns with him. Now this fight is not as hard as my 6 attempts make it out to be. Not a hard fight. The only problem is, so you got this stupid spider, and then he spawns in every phase he spawns in a little grouping of spiders. And if you don't deal with this grouping of spiders painfully slowly deal with these group of spiders, you will get overwhelmed eventually, and you won't be able to even attack the boss because you'll be just so overwhelmed with little spiders that you'll just get destroyed. And that's what happened to me like 4 times, and I finally was like, fine, I'll do it the way you want me to do it, slow and just not fun, man. Not a fun fight at all. It is like, once you get through it, and you start taking out the spiders one by one, you start whacking Rom, it's like kind of satisfying, but no, I don't like this fight. Rom himself has kind of an annoying tack pool as well. It's just like shooting these like ice glacier things at you, and he's also shooting things up from the ground, so you gotta watch your range, you gotta move away from it. It's a pain in the ass. I did not like this fight at all. I'm gonna go with a D on this one as well. 6 attempts. And we get another great fight in the one Reborn. I'm just kidding. This thing, though, is a disgusting mess of a creature. I believe it's getting born. Like, it's like I don't know what the fuck it is, y'all. I don't even want to try to explain what this thing is. It's just disgusting. Its introduction is disgusting. Everything about this boss is disgusting. It's throwing up on you. It's oozy. It's wet. It's all these nasty words. It's moist and yuck. Just not a pleasant boss, and not fun to fight either, man. It's just not another good fight. It's tedious as hell. You got to take out these bell ladies above. I don't really know what they're doing. They might be shooting fireballs at me. They might be making the boss stronger. I'm not really 100% sure what it's doing, but you take them out, and every time you come into this thing, you gotta run past the boss to the other side to get up the stairs to go take out the bell ladies. Feels very similar to the Tower Knight, where you have to go up, take out the archers first, then go fight the Tower Knight. And considering this took me 4 attempts to do, I had to go in each time, go take out the bell ladies, go down, fight the stupid boss. And the boss, though it's not a challenging boss, you do have to look out for some things. It has this like toxic throw up attack, and it can fuck you up, and it's got huge range, and you gotta make sure you're paying attention and get the hell away from it. And it's just this horrifying mess of legs and arms and just goo and just things you gotta look out for. You can get into a sweet spot and kind of just beat the shit out of it, but again, you gotta watch out for that puke attack. And Yeah, I didn't like this fight, man. It wasn't for me. That's another D. So that's what, 1, 2, 3 Ds already for me in Bloodborne, and that's definitely way more than Dark Souls 3. So, I'm not trying to shit on Bloodborne. Like, I was as surprised as anybody. I was like, oh man, I forgot that this fight was in Bloodborne. I thought this was, they feel like they took some of the bad fights from Dark Souls and Demon Souls and put them into Bloodborne as well. Tried to make them better fights, but like, they just don't work, some of these gimmick fights that they try. The gimmick fights never seem to work out well. But then you got Mikolash, which is like another gimmick fight that I did not like. And doesn't even feel like a boss fight, which is disappointing because he's a humanoid. He's just a human. Like, he has humanoid attacks that you can have in the game. You can actually find the attacks that he uses against you, which is really cool. But he runs in this maze. He's summoning minion. You know how I feel about mazes. I fucking hate mazes. So you're running around this maze trying to figure out where this guy is. You're chasing him around. He's faster than you. You got to try and whack him, and then he disappears. He's running through mirrors. He's fucking just being a goofball. I don't like it. And he'll get trapped. He'll trap himself in these hard to find areas. You get lost. And yeah, this guy was a fucking pain in the ass for me. And then fighting him is he's got like 2 moves. He does the same move over and over and over again, and it's pretty easy to dodge. Fighting him himself wasn't hard, but it took me 6 attempts to fucking beat this piece of shit because his minions kept getting on me. They would just eventually gank up on me, and yeah, he was a pain in the ass, and he would get me with his move himself because he would just keep spamming the same thing over and over again. So yeah, I'm not impressed with my 6 attempts on that one. Not really impressed with this fight. Another D. But then we're blessed with a good fight in Murgo's Wet Nurse. That is awesome. Looks so badass. This thing's got multiple arms and multiple swords, and admittedly kind of easy to fight once you find the range on this thing, because like, it's got a whole bunch of swords. So once you find out where to not get hit from the swords, find the sweet spot. I found this boss relatively easy. I took her down in 1 attempt, but still really enjoyed the fight, aside from the crying baby in the background. B+ for the Murgo's Wet Nurse. Fun fight. Then we got the Celestial Emissary. Oh boy, and a lot of people's favorite boss fight, am I right? It's not that bad. I didn't hate it. It's just another one with a bunch of minions. This thing it's actually, like, the design of it's really cool. It's actually an enemy you see earlier in the game, but there's just a bunch of them, and one is like the queen or the king or whatever the hell, the emissary, I guess, and eventually once you smack it enough times, it becomes giant, and then it's this giant freaking alien creature thing, and it's a little difficult. It's not like, it kind of turns into, like, it goes from a big gank fight into a gank fight with a giant, so it's not like overly challenging, but you can get overwhelmed. There is a lot of enemies, and they keep coming back to life. Yeah, there's like I believe it shoots a laser out at you. That's really its only attack, but yeah, it looks out of this world. I mean, it's an alien looking creature. I didn't hate it. I gave it a C+. Like, it was okay. It was fine. Took me 1 attempt too. I got lucky on that one. Then we get Ebriatis, Daughter of the Cosmos. Another cool outer worldly creature. I summoned in help for her, which made the, it's hit or miss. Like, some people think it's not fair summoning in someone, but it also makes the boss's health pool like way bigger than it normally is, so it takes a lot more. I just use them as distractions for the boss to just kind of leave me alone and let me whack it for a little bit and just kind of let me do my thing. So I did summon in someone for this fight because it did look kind of challenging. I remember having trouble with this fight, and I saw someone to summon in, so I did. And the health pool was massive, made the fight, having someone in made the fight pretty simple. I just got in between her legs and just started smashing the shit out of her, but it's a cool looking creature. She has some pretty threatening attacks, but it was a pretty simple fight for me. 1 attempt, B. Then we get on to one of my favorite fights in the game, and this was one of my most challenging. I had so much trouble with this guy the first time I played through Bloodborne, and that is Martyr Ligarius. Oh my goodness, this guy kicked the shit out of me the first time I played through this game. I think I came back. I definitely missed Canehurst Castle, so I had to come back. I was probably a little over-leveled at this point, so I probably came in little higher level than I needed to be. Was able to take out Ligarius in one attempt, y'all. One attempt. I was so proud of myself. But this dude is awesome. His introduction, him breaking out of his frozen little throne thing was awesome. He's an aggressive fight. He's got like dual weapons. He can go up in the air and fuck you up. Like, he's a very fun fight. I gave him an A, and like I said, one attempt. And then boom, I was already at Gehrman, the final boss fight. I already made it there. Didn't feel like a very long game, at least the pacing in this game. I will talk about the pacing here right now. So I definitely had a lot of times where I needed to look up where to go next, because the game doesn't really guide you like in that way. It doesn't really tell you like where to go next. It's a lot of the time it was like, yo, this door that you saw fucking 6 hours ago opened up randomly, and now you can go this way and it leads you to the next part of the game. You're like, what? I didn't know. How am I supposed to know that? How am I going to remember that? This random door that was locked hours ago and now it's going to be randomly open? Like, nah, man. So there's some of that in this game for sure. That's definitely a setback to these games where it's really hard to play them without a guide because it's so not handholdy. There's so many secrets. There's so many, really awesome things hidden away that you really don't want to miss. And it's like, man, I wish they wouldn't hide these things so damn well. Like, there's some amazing weapons that I missed. There's some probably amazing secrets that I missed, and a lot of stuff that I probably missed in a lot of these games because they hide them so well. And I've heard that Dark Souls 2 hides their stuff very, very well. So I don't know. I might have to use a guide for Dark Souls 2, which I don't know. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So it doesn't matter. So we get to the final boss fight. I'm just going to go with Gehrman, the first hunter. He was my final boss fight. I didn't do the celestial thing. That's a shitty boss fight anyway, from what I remember. But Gehrman, it's the best fight in the game. It's the best fight. It's better than Gascoigne. It builds on what Gascoigne did, but better. Gehrman doesn't turn into a beast in any way, but man, he is so awesome. The music, unbelievable. The battlefield that you are on, so awesome. Minor spoilers. I guess I should have said that already before saying Gehrman was the final boss, because that's kind of a major spoiler right there. My bad. But regardless, spoiler alert, you battle in the Hunter's Dream. There's a gate that's been locked and now it's open, and that's where Gehrman is waiting for you, and you actually fight Gehrman, which is like crazy because in the game, the entirety of the game, he's this little decrepit old man in a wheelchair that is very non-threatening and looks like he can't even, pour his own milk in his cereal. And this guy turns into the most badass fucking fight you're gonna have in this game, aside from the DLC stuff. And for my humble opinion, I think Gehrman is the best fight in Bloodborne, and that's good because that's the finale. He is super fun to fight, man. Like, he goes from two fighting styles. He has his big scythe, where he's way more rangy. He can pull you in. He can fuck you up in so many ways with that scythe. And then he'll break it in half, and he has like a sword and his gun. So he's shooting you with the gun. It's kind of annoying, the gun, but it doesn't really do a lot of damage. So it's just kind of annoying. If it did damage, it'd be kind of cheap, I think, but it doesn't do damage really. So it's fine. He can also visceral attack you, which is a thing. I don't know if I really explained viscerals all that much, but visceral attack is if you shoot them with your gun at the right time, you'll knock them down. You can get a visceral attack, which just does big damage. It's basically, I think they've always been called visceral attacks or critical attacks, whatever. Just does a lot of damage. You want these. These are great. And you can do that to Gehrman. He can do that to you. It's just a very fun fight. The battlefield is amazing. It's so big and it's full of flowers and you're in a big cemetery and it's just so awesome. I mean, in the background you got the Hunter's Dream just burning down, so you got fire in the background, the moon. It is a 10 out of 10 fight, man. It is one of the best in the Souls games. It's an S rank fight for sure. It's my favorite fight in the entire game. And there you go. That's all the bosses in Bloodborne. Like I said, man, a little bit underwhelmed. Like, there's some B's in there, but there's an awful lot of underwhelming boss fights. Starts out strong. You got the beasts coming out there and Gascoigne, really good. Then you get to the Witches of Hemwick, and that just sucks. The Shadows of Yharnam can be a real pain in the ass. Rom is just a straight up pain in the ass. The One Reborn, pain in the ass. Mikolash, pain in the ass. And after that, gets pretty good. Celestial Emissary is a little bit and after that, you get the best boss fight, and Gehrman, all time. But man, I still hold strong that it's, for me right now, Elden Ring number 1, Dark Souls 3 number 2, Bloodborne at number... Ooh, I don't know about Sekiro, man. Sekiro has grown on me. I may have to revisit some things, but I think Bloodborne's still number 3, Sekiro number 4, then probably like Dark Souls, or Liza P might be there, then Dark Souls, then Demon Souls, then maybe Dark Souls 2, something like that. So that's where I'm ranking like my Dark Souls From Software library right now. That's where I'm at. Elden Ring, that's kind of, it's cheating to me because it's just such a different game from all the other ones. It's kind of unfair to compare them because it's just so much bigger in scale. But Elden Ring, for my money, has the best boss fights ratioed. But Dark Souls, man, for my money, Dark Souls 3, you better watch yourself, because I'm going to have to replay that game and see if it really... I just loved it. Absolutely loved it. And, so I would recommend, if you're new to the Souls games, brand new, Elden Ring's probably the right route, because you can avoid challenges by going other directions. You can't really do that in the Souls games, the Dark Souls games, because you're generally like, okay, I gotta beat this boss or I can't move forward, so you can get locked in that way. Not so much in Elden Ring. Bloodborne's also a really good one, I think, to introduce you to. It's not incredibly difficult. It's still, it is a difficult game. It's very hard, like they all are. But if you're feeling up to the challenge, I think Bloodborne or Elden Ring is probably your best bet to get into. Even Dark Souls, I found Dark Souls to be rather easy. That's just me. That was my opinion. That's like 2 or 3 Souls games in. I found Dark Souls really easy, and I used a guide. So use a guide. Don't be shy. They're always useful. I always recommend Fighting Cowboy on YouTube. He has, for my money, the best Souls guides, 100% guides, just anything guide for Souls games. I recommend him the most. All right. Let's wrap up this episode. Let's talk about the pros, the cons. Like I said, the only con that I can do is some of the level design is tedious, where I just don't know where the fuck to go sometimes. And it's like I said, like, yo, this random door opened that you saw hours ago, and it's like, okay, well, that's not really useful. There's like no information for me to know that. So you get that for sure. So you're definitely going to be looking stuff up while playing this game. Don't expect to... If you're playing it completely blind, you're going to get lost a lot of the time. You're going to be doing a lot of backtracking, going places you don't need to go to. So I find that to be a con. And just the lack of blood vials, man. There's so little blood vials in this game. It drove me nuts having to go to the same route over and over again to re-get my blood vials. And that might just be a skill issue, but I think it's a very common route. It's very known and a lot of people use it. So I don't know. That was a problem for me. And other than that, that's really all I got. Pros, amazing graphics and art style, and just level design. Just the way this game looks is amazing. I love the architecture, the gothic style, amazing. Still holds up. The backgrounds look amazing. The characters look awesome and horrifying. They fit the theming of the game, and I love that. The music, incredible. Sound design, incredible. Could I put boss? I wouldn't pay, like, there weren't. There are some bad boss fights in Bloodborne, for sure. There are some D's there. There aren't F's. There aren't broken, like, fucking Bed of Chaos, broken, horrible fights. Like, they don't have any of that. But there's definitely fights that I don't look forward to. I would never really want to do again, and they're just not fun. They're not well designed. They're just tedious and hard for the wrong reasons. And yeah, so, you know, the ROMs out there, the Witches of Hemwick, just not for me. But there's more good than bad, so I would put the Bloodborne boss fights in the pros. I think for the most part they're really good. Has one of the best boss fights in the entire series. I can touch on the DLC because I know a lot about the DLC. I just haven't experienced it myself. I've only watched it, so I've seen all the boss fights. I know how good they are. I know Orphan of Cause is one of the best, if not the best, boss fight in the entire game. There's the Ludwig fight, which is, I've seen it. I know about the Moonblade. It's so badass. I know it's very cool. But yeah, just I'm too cheap to pay $26. It costs more than the game. You buy Bloodborne for $20 and the DLC costs $27. It's like, that just seems crazy to me. I think DLC should. I don't approve of DLCs. Period. I never have. So But for the sake of the FromSoft ones, their DLCs generally worth the price of admission. And I don't think $26 is incredibly a lot or anything. I think honestly it's worth $26, but knowing that it goes on sale frequently for $13, why would I pay double the price, right? I'm just a cheap guy like that. So anyway, Bloodborne. Fantastic video game. Absolutely love it. 9 out of 10. I just think some of those boss fights need improvement. Some of the level design needs improvement. Needs to flow a little bit better together, but it's still incredibly impressive how everything kind of layers onto each other with secrets and passages and all that stuff. I think it's incredibly cool. The hub world's awesome. One of the best in the franchise, I would say. Everybody wants this game remade. That's not a pro. It's just a thing I want to say. I want it remade, but I've been holding off replaying it because I've been expecting this remaster to come out for so long, 60 frames per second. I totally forgot to mention that in graphics. This game is locked at 30 frames per second, which could be a deal breaker for some people. It really didn't bother me. The game is designed in 30 frames per second, so it's not like you're getting cheap deaths from the lack of frames. I will say it is very noticeable. I went to Dark Souls 2. It's at 60 frames per second. It is very, very nice. I would love to have Bloodborne in 60 frames per second. It just isn't. There are ways to do it. It's just very challenging, and I will not be going through all that to do it. It is not worth it to me. I think it's completely fine in 30 frames per second. But I can't really say I highly recommend Bloodborne because it's not a game series for everybody, but someone that is an action game person, they like a good combat system, even though some people absolutely hate. Jesse hates the combat in Dark Souls, absolutely hates it, but it's not for everybody, so, take it with a grain of salt, give it a try. If you want to give it a try, like I said, Bloodborne, Dark Souls 3, or Elden Ring, you really can't go wrong with any of those three. I think they're very well-designed video games. I would recommend a guide. I always, if you're going to do it for the first time, get a guide, because there's a lot of things that don't get explained to you in these games, so I think it's a good idea to just have a guide, because that's really the only way I got into them. I wasn't vibing with them until I did a guide and found out about things that the game just doesn't really tell you, which could be a con. It depends what kind of gamer you are. Some people don't like their handheld, some people do. So it all depends what kind of gamer you are. I'm not putting it in anything. It's just a thing that's out there. This game does not hold your hand by any means. It's very well known. It's a very challenging game. It's one of the hardest games I've ever played. It's one of them for sure. It's not the most. It's definitely not the hardest game I've played, not even close. I beat it in under 30 hours, I think. It didn't take me all that long. I didn't find it all that challenging. I didn't say how many times it took me to beat Father Gascoigne. I actually lost count, so it's somewhere between 10 and 12. That's how much he challenged me. He's, for my money, the hardest boss in the game. He's the best boss fight in the game. And there you go, everybody. So I hope that answers all the questions that I looked to answer today. Bloodborne, for my money, third best in the franchise. It's got probably the third or fourth best boss fights in the game. I still haven't gotten through Dark Souls 2 and all that shit yet, and some Bloodborne DLC bosses I still need to fight, so I'm not completely ready to rank the boss fights, but in terms of the games, I'm pretty firm. It sucks that it drops in the power rankings. Bloodborne was number 1 for me, but now have played Elden Ring and Dark Souls 3. It has fallen to the third slot. Doesn't mean by any means it's a bad game. I gave it a 9 out of 10. It's amazing. Still, 11 years later, still would be a 9 out of 10. Probably it's a 10 out of 10 for a lot of people. That's fine. I don't think it's a masterpiece. I just don't think the boss quality is there for my money. I probably have said this. I've gone over this numerous times already. I'm just repeating myself, and I need to end this episode. So there we go, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. You the best. You want to be even more of the best, make sure you're reviewing the podcast. Share it around with a few friends or enemies. Anyone that's interested in gaming, anyone that you think might enjoy this podcast, I would love if you would tell them about it. That would be awesome. Have some more people listening to this podcast. That'd be awesome. And let me know what games you're playing and all that stuff. Give me game recommendations, topic recommendations you want me to talk about. And go back and check out the backlog of all these episodes. They age like a fine wine. You can listen to them at any point. They're not of the day topics or anything. They're just, me talking about a game that I love and doing a little retrospective here and there, and yeah, I like it. It's a good time. It's a lot of fun. So anyway, there we go. That was Bloodborne. That was a game I needed to do. That was like one of the reasons I started this podcast, was to eventually talk about Bloodborne, and it only took me 187 episodes to finally do it. So there we go. I'm very happy. Bloodborne is done, and thank you everybody so much for listening. I'll be back again with some GX Bloodgate.